We're only a couple days away from Christmas morning. The lads are back. I'm super excited to see what these last 7 games can bring. So let's get into it. Let's get into my week. Couple days delayed on this video. Got a new phone. So I had to sort out all the shit of switching things over and making sure I had all my contacts and all my photos and dealing with all the BS with that, and it's absolute nightmare stuff that. And normally I'm a night shift guy, but this week I've been on the day shift and I've been brutally exhausted, boys. Like, I was out for the count for the most of the day today, so the boys got to get back on the night shift and get my body humming again. But enough about me. Let's talk about the most important thing right now. Tottenham Hotspur, 7 games to go. And from what we hear from the words from the training ground, different reporters, articles, whatnot, the lads are liking Roberto De Zerbi's training style. They're loving the training sessions. They're loving the automations. They're loving the tactics and the playing style he's trying to implement. They're loving his ideas. So I'm really starting to get excited about what we could see with Roberto De Zerbi over these last 7 games. What he can bring out of the players at his disposal, because we still have a lot of injuries. Like, just a quick swerve. Mohamed Kudus had a setback in his rehabilitation, so it looks like he's probably going to miss most of the season, and maybe even the World Cup or Ghana. So that's a shame for him. You don't ever want to see anybody having to miss a chance to represent their country. But the players we do have available, I'm really excited to see what he can get out of them, especially our young players. From everything I saw from the training ground videos Spurs official released, from all the beat reporters who cover it on a daily basis, he's taken a real liking to Archie Gray. He's taken a real liking to Lucas Bergvall. And I think he's really going to like Pat Maresar. Mateus Tell, I think he's really going to like. I think we can see him get a lot out of Kinski. Despite the game against Atletico Madrid where we got slapped the shit out of, Kinski's good with his feet. I mean, I think that was just an anomaly. Maybe his nerves. The team in front of him are dog shit. The pitch seemed to be an absolute skating rink. Like, it was like a sheet of ice for the boys out there. But I think with build up from the back and baiting the press, inviting the press on, and then passing around them, I think that's something Kinski can be good at. And I'm also excited because with Romero, one of the best passers and distributors out of the back as a defender in the league, I'm excited to see him, really sink his teeth into this. And I want to see both him and Van der Ven, if they're committed to Tottenham long term, really take the team by the scruff of the neck over these last few games and pull them over the line. They pulled us over the line in Bilbao last May when he won the Europa League, and it's time they step up, earn their bacon, and show that they belong in the discussion of some of the top center backs in the world, because when they're on their best, that's what they are. Absolutely. Romero with his passing, his distribution, his tackling, he's aggressive, and Van der Ven with just his speed, the ability to join in on attack and carry the ball, the ability to get back and hoof it back if we're being countered on. So I'm really looking towards those two to lead the team, lead the squad, and just get us over the hump, because it's going to be a real bum clenching time over these last few games. What other players I honestly think we're going to see a lot out of Tell. I mean, he's showing glimpses here and there of the potential, that raw potential he has, but I just don't think Thomas Frank was the right manager for him. I don't think what's his face? Oh my God, he just left. Wow, how come I forgot his name? Tudor. I don't. Obviously, Tudor wasn't the right man for him. But I think the way De Zerbi wants to play and a lot of short passes, he doesn't like players taking too many touches. He'll get the ball 1 or 2 touches, move the ball forward, and continue your run. And like I think Tell's really going to thrive with that. And I think Simmons is somebody who we can really see thrive. You know, he's coming to this league. He's not a big guy. He struggled to adapt to the speed and the strength of the Premier League. But he was doing it in a system that didn't really let his own strengths flourish. And I think if we can just allow him to get on the ball and spray a couple passes out wide to Tell on one side, and what I'm going to guess would be probably Kolo Muani on the other side, or spray balls forward to Solanke, join, maybe make an overlapping run and do little 1-2s with Tell and Solanke. I think we can see a lot out of Tell, and we can see why he was worth taking him in as opposed to the cash in exchange for the Harry Kane sale to Bayern Munich a couple summers ago. But the two players I'm excited for the most is Archie Gray and Lucas Bergwall. Archie Gray, in a season where we've been absolute dog shit, especially the past few weeks, he's looked a cut above the rest of the team. He just looks like, for an 18-year-old, he's already played a ton of Premier League games with Tottenham, and he's played a lot of big-time games with Leeds United, even when they were in the Championship. That's a grind to get out of the league, especially when you get into the playoffs. And he's only 18, so he was playing there when he was 16 and 17, playing against full-grown men, and everybody had rave reviews about him, and I can see why. He seems to be taking the reins of the team a bit, and I'm excited to see him flourish under De Zerbi. I think he can really do well playing almost like a box-to-box role, joining late in the attack. So if Simmons and Tell are, really pressing forward, getting into the box, he arrives late, edge of the box, lay off a ball to him, he can get a shot off. But he can break up plays. He can he can start a counter and move the ball forward. He can spray the ball in different directions. So I think this type of coach in De Zerbi is going to be somebody that's going to get even more out of Archie Gray. So I'm excited for that. And if you saw the training video, De Zerbi seemed to be enamored with Lucas Bergwall, arm around him, whispering into his ear. Bergwall, he's a sleek player. He's got a good touch. He's got a good pass on him. 18 himself, still inexperienced. But again, you see a lot of that raw potential of this could be a special kid, someone who can, a good ball carrier, a good ball progressor. So I'm excited to see him put more responsibility in those young players to get us out of this mess, because I think it's going to be the Grays, the Bergvalls, the Tells, the Simmons, Solanke. I think they're going to be the ones that are creating the opportunities and creating the goals to get us out of this mess. And then at the back, I think it's going to have to be obviously Romero and Van der Ven holding a firm line in defense. Putting up that brick wall. You two shall not pass. And then with the fullbacks, wing backs, however De Zerbi is going to deploy them, Porro and Udogie are, I think, both going to be suited pretty well for that role. Porro has a great ping on him. What a ping on the boy. He can definitely get across into the box, far post, near post. And, with the, get it onto the head of Solanke, get it on the head of Tell at the far post, maybe a late arriving run from somebody like a Gray or a Tell, and just, create some chaos in the box, create some chaos in the box. And then Udogie on the opposite side, he can get forward great with the ball, overlapping runs with Tell. We've already seen it a couple times this season that they seem to work decent together on that left side, overlapping, little 1-2s with the ball. So it's going to be really, really important that chemistry and that gelling together comes quick, because Sunderland away is a tough nut to crack. Stadium of the Light, those fans are going to be absolutely humming at the stadium, and they won't make it easier. They won't make it easy, and I think it's going to be that game, and a week later back at our patch against Brighton. That's really going to show us does this team have what it takes to pull themselves out of the mud? These next two games are super important. It's not just the results, it's the performance. We need to see that they have fight. We need to see that they're not afraid to take a chance, not afraid to, show their skill, show their talent, play some football. Not afraid. Don't be afraid to take a risk. Don't be afraid to take a mistake. Do what you have to do to progress the team forward. But also, when you have to, get down in the mud, roll around in the dirt, fling your dinner against the wall. Do what you have to do to break up a play, stop a counter, and just quiet the momentum if the other team's building some over like a 10, 15-minute period. Just really, especially away at Sunderland, take the crowd out of it. If the boys can take the crowd out of it, make it dirty, make it a dogfight, I think we can low-key maybe try to take a point, maybe 3, although like a point would be a blessing right now with how bad our season has been. I mentioned earlier the Kudos injury. That's going to be such a disappointment. I was really looking forward to him coming back. I think he's fifth in the league in taking a man on like dribbles, and he's been off for like 3 months. So he's played like 3 months worth of less games than all the other players. He's still top 5 in take-ons and taking on a player. So, and when he was doing it under Thomas Frank, a lot of it was he'd have the ball and it'd be like a 1v3 or a 1v2 with the De Zerbi, baiting the press, bringing the team in, and then passing around them and creating an opportunity. Hopefully, like that was gonna isolate Kudos and his who's ever marking him. And it'd be more one-on-one opportunities, and that's when he can, stretch the back line, get chalk on his boots, get up the side of the pitch, and create opportunities for the oncoming runners into the box. But again, injuries setback. We've had a ton of injuries this season. Like I saw a graph earlier today. I'm not good with this whole editing thing, or superimposing pictures or cap cut and cuisine and all that other shit that people do to make their videos pop. I'm a dumb fuck, right? So I'll probably put the graph up as the thumbnail for this video, and you can see I think Spurs have missed 1,800 days, like man days worth of in injuries, and the next closest team is like right around 1,400 or 1,500. So it's like a good 300 to 400 more days our players have missed due to injury than the next closest team. And in the graph, you'll see how the injuries correlate with the current place in the table. And for some teams, hasn't made a huge difference. But for Spurs, like being that we're 17th, it's absolutely hamstrung us. I mean, and it's not just, missing a bench guy here or a role player there. We're not just missing a plug. We're, Madison, Kulusevski, Kolomowani, Solanke missed a good chunk of the season. Richarlison's been in and out of the squad all season. Udogie, who I mentioned, I'm very excited to see what he can do under De Zerbi. My only criticism about him is he's been injured a lot since he came to Spurs a couple seasons ago, and like he can't seem to stay healthy. I don't know how Van der Ven's hamstrings have held up this season, but fuck me, if him or Romero go, we are shit out of luck. Vicario's out. He had a hernia surgery, so it looks like it'll be Anthony Kinski taken to the sticks between the pipes this weekend, and probably against Brighton before Vicario's back. So I'm going to get to my lineup. I wrote it down because off the top of my head isn't the greatest. So I think he's going to go with the 4-2-3-1. Kinski at the back 4 of Destiny, Van der Ven, Cuti Romero, Pedro Porro. Gray and Lucas is the 2 in front. And then Dominic as the striker with the 3 in behind of Tell, Simmons, and Kolomowani. And it's a bit of a kind of a lightweight midfield, as Bergvall and Gray and Simmons, who will probably drop a bit deeper to help them out. They're all young. None of them are really the biggest guys or the thickest guys. They're all kind of a bit light in the ass. So that might be a bit difficult to try to control the match from the middle of the field. But if that's the lineup that he puts out, I think that could be a winning formula because, like I said, a lot of young players, Gray, Bergvall, Tell, you know, Simmons, Slanky's still, he's not young, but he's not old either, right? Like a lot of players who are looking to prove to a new coach, like, hey, whether we're in the championship next season or we stay in the Premier League, I want to be your go-to guy next season. I want you to, when you're building this team, I'm one of the guys you want to build around. So there's a lot of the young players who have a lot to prove. And I'm hoping that he uses some of the academy kids off the bench, called some kids from the U21 squad. I'm excited, looking a little bit forward to next season. But if, when Vuskovic comes in or Mikey Moore, players like that, I want to see what they can do. And again, like I said at the beginning of the video, it's like a Christmas morning. It's like Christmas morning is coming. The cookies are coming out of the oven. Santa's ready to get his fill his boots, and I want to unwrap everything Roberto De Zerbi has lined up for us. So I'm excited. So I'm gonna think the boys, the Ottawa Senators, are in the third period right now. They're up 2-0 against Florida. The boys are gonna try to wrap up a playoff spot. So gotta go cheer on the boys. So I'm gonna wrap up this video. I'm hoping that I'm coming to you guys next week with a very happy video, very ecstatic, reviewing a big Tottenham win. And going forward, thank you for all the support. Thank you for the views, the comments, the critiques. If you want to make any criticism, any ideas, let me know. Shout out to the guy who's left me a comment last week asking me, he predicted this whole thing was going to be a dumpster fire, and I didn't necessarily disagree with him. And if you read my reply, how I actually felt about the board and the people running things, I get into that a bit. So hopefully I get a little bit more engagement. I wish I wrote down the guy's name so I can give him a shout out. But again, I'm still new to this, boys. I'm still new, still raw, still working out all the kinks, You know what I'm saying? A lot of chinks in my armor. So, but that guy of the week for you, buddy. Like stick tap, pat on the back for you, bud. I love it. I love it. So I hope you guys all have a great week. You all have a great weekend. It's supposed to be pissing down rain here, so that fucking sucks. But until next time, keep happy, keep healthy, do what makes you happy, do what makes you proud, do what invigorates you, do what gives you passion, and be safe. Thank you so much. Peace.